Chair. Well, firstly, just continuing as I was when I was interrupted last time, to respond to the Minister. Now, the Minister knows full well that there is a process under the Local Government Act in which you can replace a democratically elected council, but you have to go through a number of steps. You have to prove that the democratically elected council is dysfunctional, etc. Unfortunately for the Minister, despite bringing in his mate, Wyatt Creech, giving him the instruction to try to denigrate the council and giving him a clear mandate to try to undermine the ECAN, Mr. Creech wasn't able to deliver, which must have been very disappointing for the Minister. So he didn't actually enable the Minister to say that the council was dysfunctional, so he didn't enable him to take the steps which are legally in law under the Local Government Act to get rid of him. So what this bill is doing circumventing what should be due process under the Local Government Act by whacking this bill through. It's interesting also when the Minister was rebutting various comments, one of the comments he did not seek to rebut was my prediction that the Regional Council in Canterbury will never be reinstated. It will never be reinstated because the government has an agenda to get rid of all of the regional councils around New Zealand. So when it says in clause 23, the members of ECAN elected at the next election come into office on the resumption day, that clause will never be activated because they'll never come into being. And it's interesting, as the co-leader of the Greens said last night, Russell Norman, he said, this is so similar to what is happening in Fiji, in which we all thump the table about in this House. In Fiji, Bainimarama said, we're just going to abolish democracy for a little wee while, but we will bring it back later. And this is what this is saying here. We're just going to get rid of 14 democratically elected councils and replace them with unelected and unaccountable commissioners just for a wee while. Actually, folks, it's going to be forever because they're not about to bring them back. The other point I was making is that the terms of reference here, not only are they completely unknown, I mean, I guarantee these terms of reference will be written up. If official information papers will reveal, they'll be already written up. It's just that the Minister doesn't want us or Canterbury people to know. And, I mean, the terms of reference, not only could they be anything, they could say, we will only build roads in Canterbury. We will get rid of public transport. We want you to facilitate the building of dams. They could say anything. We don't know. But the other point is that this is another example of how central government, this is a very sinister development, central government is dictating what happens at local government. Now, the cornerstone of local government is that locally elected representatives decide on what happens at the local level. But under this, not only does he get his politically appointed buddies to be the commissioners and that he gets to appoint them, but he gives them very explicit instructions. So we now have a second example of central government dictating to local government, undermining the whole principle of local government. This is what we have we have this in Auckland, and now we have it here. In Auckland, for the first time ever, we have a central government dictating how many council-controlled organisations will be established in Auckland and who will be on them. In every single other council in New Zealand, it is up to the local council to decide whether they want CCOs and who will be on them. But no, this government is directly intervening, dictating to local government. And this is what is happening here. They are dictating to the commissioners what they will do, what their agenda will be, and how they will meet the minister's wishes. So this is very sinister. Not only is this a coup d'etat, not only are we... Mr Chair.
Sue Williams, CO.